Hey, and welcome to my chakra series journey that we've been working on the last few weeks here. So, we find ourselves today at the fifth chakra, which is the throat. So, we've come through the four below the throat, and now here we are at the fifth chakra, which is called the Vishuddha chakra, which means purification. And then we'll travel along the final two. We'll do the third eye and we'll do the crown chakra to complete this entire 7 week series. So I'm really enjoying this. I love this stuff. I love preparing these classes and just diving into all this material. And this stuff just never gets old for me. So I hope you guys are enjoying this right along with me. So you might notice that my environment looks a little bit different today. It's because I'm at my home yoga studio. Right now, me and my entire family are in quarantine. We've come in close contact with COVID, and yep, this is our reality right now. So this is what our yoga studio looks like, and yeah, so this is how it's going to be for a couple of more weeks for our family for sure. So that's why the space looks a little bit different. So, the throat chakra, I think this is super timely, especially because we're talking about, the part of us that is the self expression and the part of us that gets to kind of speak our truth. In yoga, we talk a lot about two things in the yamas and the niyamas. And in the yamas, which are the ethical principles of yoga, we find the very first two is ahimsa, which is to do no harm. And then the second one is the satya, which is truth. And when we find those two together and when we marry those two together, it's like for us to be truthful, we also have to make sure that we're not being harmful when we're speaking our truth. So you've probably had a situation before, whether you've done this or you've been on the receiving end of this, where somebody has said something to you that might have been true, but they may not have said it in a very kind or a very benevolent way. And so this chakra, this throat chakra, is about finding our truth for ourselves, for our own self-expression, and also having the ability and the capacity to deliver truth to others in a loving, kind way. And we can start to see how the chakras below us, the earth and the water in the hips and the fire in the belly and the resonance of love in the heart, all of these things are building beneath this chakra for us to be able to speak. And we need to be grounded and we need to feel solid and secure for our words to come out in a good way, for our communication to be really clear. And so we'll do a few things today that might be a little bit different. We're going to use our voice. And I have to be totally honest, this is not work for me that has been really easy or comfortable to do as a student or to teach as a teacher. But I hope just by admitting that can help you feel like we're in this together. So we're going to do some oming and we're also going to do some humming. And we're also going to be doing some oming in our postures, which is a little bit different. Usually we save oming for the beginning of class or the end of class, and we kind of bookend our class with oming, which is pretty typical. But we're going to do it in posture today, so that might feel a little bit different. And we're also going to try humming so that we can get the vocal cords going. This fifth chakra is, it's our neck. It's right at the base of the neck. And we're talking about the thyroid and the parathyroid gland in there. And it also is our mouth, it's our teeth, and it's the front of the neck and it's the back of the neck. So we'll just try to get some vibration going with some humming. So for today's class, what you'll need is, I'm just sitting on a block because I like to. I don't think we're going to need blocks, but what will be really handy to have is if you have a blanket, two is better. And if you don't have two blankets, or if you don't even have a blanket at all, just two towels that you can fold up. And we're going to be using those for shoulder stand that we're going to do towards the back end of the class. Okay, so let's begin in seated. I'm going to sit up on the block. You're welcome to sit on any prop that you have, a bolster or a block. Or if you want to just sit directly on the floor, that's totally fine too. And we'll just take a moment to root down. And so as I mentioned, we want to think about those 4 chakras that are below us, that we've already passed through. And so we find our seat. We find the earth in the lower half of the body. We feel the sit bones grounding down into whatever you're sitting upon. You feel the bones of your legs. You feel your feet touching the mat. And you just feel that strong foundation, the roots of you. And you might move just a little bit side to side just to remind yourself of the flexibility and the adaptability of you in the hips. And rise up a little higher and come back to that feeling of the fire in the belly, that heat, that tapas. And keep going and rise up to the center of the chest, the heart, right around the sternum. Find our ability there to emote for ourselves and for others. And what's really interesting as we rise up through these chakras is it's almost as if the throat chakra, the Vishuddha chakra, is like a bridge between the feelings and the thoughts in the mind. So the feelings in the heart center, it's like the throat is the bridge between that and the mind. How cool is that? And so we'll just meditate on that just for a few more cycles of breath, all of these chakras that build one on top of another. And we can start to see how one is not more important than the other, and it's like we need all of them. We need all of them to be functioning and spinning within their proper space or proper range. Good. All right. So as promised, we're going to do some humming. We're going to hum the sound, the sacred sound of Om. So you just find your own tone. This chakra is about sound, and it's also about hearing. It's about just listening. And so whatever sound comes out of you, I'm assuming you're going to be, in your house, in your living room, or wherever you are. So feel free to just kind of let it go. All right? So let's take a tall spine. Take a full breath in through the nose. Let all the air come out your open mouth. And then seal your lips and find your sacred seed sound of Om. Good. We'll do a couple more. Take a full breath in. All the air out. Inhale to humming one Om. Let the vibration, the sound fill the whole room for one more. Breath in and breath out. Inhale to hum one more Om. Nice work. Now we'll, as we normally would, we will make a sound of Om coming out of the mouth with the hands at the center of the chest. Okay, so we'll just feel the difference between the humming and just the more traditional way to Om with the breath coming out of the mouth. Take a full breath in, hands at the center of the chest. All the air out. And we'll inhale to this first Om. Good. We'll do just one more. Inhale. Exhale to all the air. Fill the room with sound. Breath in. Breath out to Om. Good. All right, let's take this to posture. If you're sitting on a block like me, you can just set it to the side. And we'll begin on all fours, and we'll start to do a cat-cow. So find your hands, find your knees, find your feet. And on your next inhale breath, we'll tip the tail, stretch the front body, open your throat, lift your eyes. And then round your spine, press into the earth with the hands, arc your back, tuck your chin like you're closing the throat, chin to chest, gaze to the navel. Inhale, lift up, look up, stretch the throat. Exhale, you round. Now just do a few more like this. And as you move through cat-cow, notice what it feels like to open the throat and then to contract or close the throat in cat pose. Just noticing the difference without judgment. You can compare, but just see which one. What do you notice when the throat is closed? What do you feel? And then how does it feel to be in this stretched position where it's difficult to talk as a yoga teacher? A few more. All right, let's come into the cow pose. So lift the tail, stretch the throat, lift the eyes up, tuck your toes if they're not already. And then everything stays just as it is as we send the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Take your time here, cycle the legs, pump the heels. And just take a moment to feel all of the 4 chakras that live below this 5th one that we're focusing on today. So feel the earth under your feet, under your hands. You might move the hips from side to side just to remind yourself of that fluidness in the hips, the motion in the hips. And then lift the Mula Bandha, lift the pelvic floor. And then draw the navel back towards the spine to feel the fire in the belly there. Press your heart more towards your thigh bones. And then tuck your chin in towards your chest. And see if you can activate Jalandhara Bandha. So that's the chin lock. So lifting Mula Bandha, that's the mula, the pelvic floor lifts up and we absorb it into the body. The navel back towards the spine, that's the Uddiyana Bandha, the flying upwards. And then the chin lock, the chin towards the chest, the Jalandhara Bandha. And Bandha just means a lock of energy. And we want to seal these in. And we don't want any of our energy to escape unnecessarily. 2 more breaths here. You might even find stillness in these last 2 breaths just to feel the earth, the water, the fire, the sweetness of the heart. Good. Let's walk our feet forward to the top edge of the mat. And then forward fold, drop your head. Again, tuck your chin. Use the abdominal muscles to draw the head and the chin all the way up and down. Good. On the inhale breath, reach up, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands set to the center of the chest. Now we'll flow through Surya Namaskar C. Might be a little bit different, a little less familiar than the typical sun salutations that we normally do. But you'll get it. You'll be totally fine. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow in towards your legs, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, long spine. Stretch the chin, the neck, equal length on the sides of your neck. Good. Set your hands down, step your feet back, top of the plank pose. Just stay here for a breath. Fortify this plank. Feel your hands, feel your feet. Feel the navel lifting up and back towards the spine. Mula Bandha, pelvic floor lifts up. Chin slightly in towards the chest. Good. Now let's drop down to the knees. And once you drop down to the knees, touch your chin and your chest to the floor at the same time. Like you're trying to stretch your neck. Look forward. Eyes are skimming just the front edge of the mat, the floor in front of you. Good. From here, we'll go into cobra pose. Tops of the feet are flat. Press the hands into the floor. Melt the shoulders down the back. Nice long neck. And then roll through the knees, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb. Drop your left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands down. Step your right foot back, top of the plank pose. Fortify the plank, one breath in, and then knees down. And then chest and chin touch the floor at the same time. Look forward. This is called 8-pronged pose. Inhale, top of the feet flat, press the hands down, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, left foot steps to left thumb tip. Drop your right knee. Inhale, the arms just sweep up. We're just here for one breath. And then exhale, hands touch the floor. Step back foot forward to meet the front foot. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow over your legs. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. A little back bend here if you like. And then hands to the center of the chest. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Take the arms wide, sweep forward. Lead with the heart, bow in. Halfway lift and lengthen. Hands down, feet back, top of the plank pose. One breath in. Knees down, chest, chin touch the floor. Squeeze your elbows in. Release the tops of the feet, come up into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From down dog, right foot to right thumb. Reach up both hands. Exhale, hands down, foot goes back, top of the plank. Lower the knees down, chest touches, chin touches. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay for one breath in and one breath out. Look forward, left foot to left thumb. Right knee drops. Inhale, arms up, stretch up. Exhale, hands down. Step back, top of the plank one last time. Knees down, chest and chin. And then cobra, lift up. Squeeze the shoulder blades with this. Squeeze the spine with the shoulder blades. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, we're going to walk feet towards the hands. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, reach up. And then hands to the center of your chest. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. And then we're going to add on some different arms. And this is where we're going to do the oming in our postures. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift and lengthen. Touch the floor, step your left foot back, drop your left knee. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then take your hands to picture frame. Take your hands to hold on to your elbows to picture frame your arms, your head. So press into your feet, strong legs. Remember that first chakra, the mula, the earth. Keep the hips nice and soft. Lift up mula bandha, navel to spine. And then start to lift up through the waist. The side body gets a little bit longer. And then start to lean back ever so slightly here. Stay really strong in the lower half of you so that we can start to activate this throat chakra. Okay. So lift your chin away from your chest just a little bit. Just guide the eyes up towards the ceiling. Take a full breath in. All the air out. We'll inhale to 1 Om. Good work. Release the arms, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands down, frame your foot, step back, top of the plank pose. We'll lower down chaturanga. So you can lower the knees if you like. Inhale, lift up cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, dog pose. We'll stay here. We'll just park it in downward facing dog for a couple cycles of breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. One more like that. Inhale. Listen to the sound of the breath. And exhale. Look forward, step forward, top edge of the mat. Halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow in. And then let's pick it up, touch the sky, reach up. Exhale, hands to the chest. Let's do the second side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, deep bow forward. Halfway lift and lengthen. And then big step back with your right foot. Drop your right knee. Inhale, pick up the arms, sweep them up. And then settle here for a breath. Find your arms, opposite hand, to switch up the grip of your arms, the less comfortable way, the different way than you did last time. Reach up through the sideways, strong legs, strong feet, soft hips. Lift the Mula Bandha. Navel to spine, Uddiyana Bandha. And then you can slightly draw the chin in and then start to lift the eyes up. Good. And then ever so subtly, just pull the chin away from the chest. We'll find one more Om here. Full breath in. Full breath out. We'll inhale to one Om. Om. Good. Release the arms, reach them up. Hands down, step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Forward fold over top of your legs. And then inhale, come all the way up, reach up. Good. I'm going to turn to face you. You can stay at the top edge of your mat though. So we're going to find eagle pose here, Garudasana pose. And when we find eagle pose, one of the things that we do in this posture is we find that chin lock, that Jalandhara Bandha. And we're going to do that in this pose. So find your legs just hip distance apart. And we'll reach the arms up and over top of the head. Right arm is going to cross underneath the left, so left arm's on top. Wingtip to the palm. And then lift your arm bones up. And then pull your arm bones away from your face. Now, if your balance is feeling a little bit tricky today, a little bit off, you're going to sit down like there's a chair behind you. Okay, if you want to come along with me and lift up, right leg up and over top of the left, toes can hook behind your standing leg. All right, so there's lots to focus on here. So left big toe, press it down, center dot of the left heel, firm it down. And then squeeze the legs. Keep lifting your fingertips up, keep pulling your arm bones away. Now start to lengthen through the back of your neck, draw your chin in towards your chest, Jalandhara Bandha. Keep the lock of earth in the mula, navel to spine. Stay for 3. For 2, keep locking the chin. For 1. Good. Inhale, release the wings. We'll take one half sun salutation here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Halfway lift and lengthen. Forward fold. And then come back up. And hands to the center of your chest. Okay, we'll do the second side. Inhale, reach. Switch up the cross of your arms, right arm on top of left. Step your feet hip distance apart just to start. Find your arms first. Lift the wingtips up. Pull the arm bones away from your face. Sink the hips down. And then firm plant into that right big toe. Pinky side of the foot, center dot of the heel. And then lift up left leg. Wrap it up as high as you can around. Good. Try to center your knees. And then wingtips lift up. Squeeze everything into the midline. Focus your eyes. And then lift the earth lock into the pelvic floor. Navel back towards the spine. There's a slight hollowing out of the belly here. Tuck your chin in towards the throat. Back of the neck feels long. Stay for 3. Keep the squeeze for 2. Focus the eyes for 1. And then release the arms. Let go of the legs. One more half salutation. Reach up. Take the arms wide like we're a bird, like an eagle. Forward fold. I saw an eagle the other day when I was walking along the river before I was in quarantine. Halfway lift and forward fold. Okay. So the next part of the class, we're going to focus on postures that are on the back. So we're going to do bridge pose, and then we're going to follow with shoulder stand. Okay. So let's come on to the back body when you're ready. And bring your heels in towards your sitting bones. And then everything that's going to stay on the floor, so your feet and the back of the head and the shoulders, you're going to firm plant those down. And then start to hike the hips up towards the ceiling. Now start to crawl your shoulder blades in towards the spine. Clasp your hands together. Root down the outer edges of the wrists, the hands, so you can find a little bit more height here. Keep pressing into the earth of your feet, lifting the water of the hips. And it's like the water from the hips is rushing into the heart and replenishing the heart. Just keep the fire in the belly, pointing up towards the sky. And then we find this Jalandhara Bandha here. We find this chin lock. It's a little bit hard to talk. The voice is kind of restricted here. But keep lifting. We'll stay here for 3, for 2, and 1. Good. Let go and take the soles of the feet together to touch. And we'll just pause here for a moment. Just take a little break. And so when our 5th chakra is open and it's clear and it's functioning as it should, it means that we can find ease in our communication style. We can be mediators with others, and we can communicate our own needs. It's like, what do I need? What do I want? What's important to me? And there's an ease and an ability and a capacity to share that with others. But when this chakra is blocked, or when it's not spinning as it should be, it can look like shyness. It can look like not being able to communicate your needs, and often just being overlooked. Remember, this chakra is about hearing. It's like, how do we listen? But also, how are we heard? How do we communicate in a way where others can hear us? Just a couple more breaths here. Good. Okay. So the remainder of the class, we're going to focus on shoulder stand. So in yoga, poses are categorized according to sort of benefits in the body, and poses that have a lot of benefits in one posture kind of get categorized as, not that they're more important, but they just sort of have more bang for the buck, I guess. And shoulder stand is considered like the mother of all poses. The headstand is like the father. And so there's so many benefits in the shoulder stand pose. It's also a posture that if you have anything going on in your cervical spine, in your neck, it's just, I'll give you a modification. But the way that I'm going to teach it today is with the support of the blankets. And we're going to put that underneath the shoulders. And it's just a really nice way to experience this pose. If you have anything going on with the neck, what you can do is go to a wall, and you can just do legs up the wall, and just so that you can get that feeling of inversion, and there's no implication on your shoulders or on your spine. But yeah, this pose has so many benefits, and one of the things that I was saying at the top of the class that's really timely about the throat chakra being right now and me being in quarantine is that this pose is really good for immunity. So if you've been around someone that is tested positive for COVID-19, this is a really good pose just to do for just our wellness and just our well-being. So what you're going to need is you're going to need ideally 2 blankets. And like I said, if you don't have 2 blankets, you're just going to find towels that will basically fold up to about this size. Okay, so you want to do a fairly decent job of folding them so that they're the same size on top of each other. And then you're just going to put them right at the very top of the mat. And then you're going to get the bottom part of your mat and you're going to roll it up over top of the blankets. Okay. And then it might be helpful if you just watch me do one, and then we'll do the second one together. Okay. Remember, if shoulder stand isn't good for your neck or not part of your practice, take yourself up to a wall space, put your legs up the wall, and you can just find the same benefits of the inversion from there. Okay. So you're going to lay down here in a moment, and you're going to keep your shoulders probably about an inch or two away from the top of the mat, and then your head is going to just be on the floor. You might even take a block here underneath if you wanted to. But yeah, something like this, because when we lift the legs up, then the shoulders tend to move up a little bit. So we'll just give ourselves a little bit of room there. And then we'll walk the feet in just like we did for bridge pose. And then catch the back of the pelvis. And now carefully, you'll just walk your elbows, your arm bones, in towards the midline. And then we keep all of these chakras that we've been working on for the past 4 or 5 weeks here. So the earth in the legs, the sweet water in the hips, fire in the belly helps keep the activation of this pose. And we melt the heart. And it's like the sternum bone. It's like the heart comes towards the chin here. Good. I'll just lower down nice and slow. Okay. So just one more time. So I've got 2 blankets here folded up pretty neatly, one on top of the other. Bottom part of the mat folds right over top just for a little bit more grip and stick. And then you're going to have about an inch or two where your shoulders have some space above on the mat there, and then head onto the floor. All right. So you press into your hands, hike the hips up, feet to the sky. Keep the neck stable. You guys know not to look side to side in this pose, right? We look straight up to the feet. And there's 2 ways you can present your feet here. You can point your toes up. Some people can flex their feet towards the shins. Up to you. See what feels best. Keep the earth in the legs. Good. You can even gaze to the chest if you like. Okay, now this time we'll stay here for about 3 to 5 more breaths. The longer you can stay, it's difficult to talk in this pose. The longer you can stay, the more benefits, you guys. The blood pools to the vital organs. We get this nice bloodbath for the brain. Now, I might hit the mirrors behind me, but if you guys want to, you can tip your toes over top of your head for, this is halasana, or the plow pose. And then you're able to release your hands. Again, you can take that same grip that you did in bridge pose, press down into the arm bones. You can tuck the toes under. Good. And then if you're able, you can take your knees right outside of the ears for deaf man's pose. And a slight squeeze of the knees into the head. And then we can get silent. And listen to the sound of silence. Just about 2 more breaths wherever you are. If your legs up the wall, good job, stay there. If you're in halasana, plow pose, just 1 more breath. Good, and then we'll slowly come out. Just help yourself 1 vertebrae at a time to come down. Good, and just take a moment to pause when you get back onto the spine here. And then we'll take a counter pose of fish pose. So we're just going to get our mats going in the right direction here. Take the blankets right off. And so for fish pose, you're going to come onto the elbows. And it's like your hands are going to go right underneath your backside. Same thing here. You're going to crawl your shoulders in towards the spine. Point your toes hard down towards the floor, lift the chest. And then we're going to counter what we just did. We're going to open the throat, drop the head. And if you can, touch your head to the floor. Keep the chest open. Keep pointing the toes hard. Activate your legs. Reversing all of that we just did in the shoulder stand. Just another breath here. Good. And then slowly release. And then we'll come back to sit. And before we head into a couple of more postures here, we'll just do one pranayama. One more pranayama for the throat. And you might recognize this from the Hot 26 or the 26 and 2 series. And it's the pranayama that we do right at the very beginning of that class. And hopefully I'll be able to do it with this mic pack on. Take your hands together. Press your woven hands just underneath your chin here. And on your inhale breath, you're going to lift your arm bones up. And on your exhale breath, you're going to drop your head back, open the throat, and let it exhale out through your open mouth. Sounds like this. And then we begin again. We'll do 3 of these, okay? When you're ready. Inhale. Drop the chin, open the arms, begin again. Inhale. Take one more sip in. And exhale all the air out through your open mouth. Make a deep sound here. Try to draw the elbows together. One more. Inhale. Last time. Exhale. Good. Release your arms. Just give your head and neck a little shake here. Okay, let's go back onto the back body. Take your arms wide. Windshield wiper your knees to the right and to the left. And then spinal twist to the right side. Next time your knees are together to the right, keep them there. Right foot, pick it up, drop it over top of your left knee. And switch sides. Knees to the left. Left foot is like a hook on top of your right knee. Head rolls to the right. Good, and we'll come back up to center. Extend your legs out to the 2 corners of your mat. Walk your shoulder blades in towards the spine like we've been doing. Palms open. And close down your eyes. Take a full breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Let it make a sound, and don't be afraid of that sound. Do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And we'll rest here for a few moments. If you would like to rest longer, then you can press pause or stop on this video and take up some space here. Otherwise, we'll stay for just another minute or so. If you're ready to take some movement, go ahead, roll over to one side, and we'll come up to a sit. Let's take the hands together to the center of the chest. And we'll just close down the eyes, slightly bow the head, and we'll just think of all of these centers that we've moved through and where we've come and where we've yet to go. And for the purpose of today's class, I wish you powerful communication and to be able to speak your truth. And we know how important that is, and we also know what it feels like when we can't speak our truth. When we feel like we've been gagged or bound and we just can't get out what we need to say. And we know that that can lead us to just places in our lives that we maybe don't want to go, where we don't want to end up there. And so we want clarity, and we want purification of our words and how we listen to the words of others. And so how we can actively listen to what other people are saying. And at the same time have our words heard. Let's take the thumbs up to the third eye. That'll be our next center that we focus on next time we meet. So until then, you guys, namaste. Stay well. Thanks for being here today.